Hello there, with just 1 minute and 13 seconds to go until the return of the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. We would like to advise that tonight's episode will contain coarse language. Not just the accidental coarse language that we come out with, but coarse language on purpose to illustrate some points. You have been warned as we gear up with just 53 seconds to go. The Ange, Rob and Robbo show is coming your way. Please stand by.
Rob and Robbo.
Streaming live across the globe, Angeli Rao, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
And Rob and Robbo. News and views, entertainment too. It's the Ange, Rob and Robbo. Ange, Rob and Robbo show. Rob and Robbo show.
Welcome to the Ange, Rob and Robbo show.
Must pay that bill. Hello! Welcome back to the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. It is so fabulous to have your company as we come to you, 40 minutes late than we advertised? Well, that's us, and you'll find, no, you won't even find out why, but we had some fun behind the scenes tonight. Angeli Rao is in the house. Hello, Ange. How are you?
Hello, my love. I am well. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I just thought I'd keep everyone on tenterhooks a little bit longer. 40 minutes, that's a new record for me.
Nailed it, can I just say.
And that was the 40 minutes I needed just for makeup, so, you know.
Would have worked an absolute treat. My God, you look exactly the same.
Yes, indeed. But you've never met me without makeup.
And I don't want to.
Even when we've met in person, I've always had the makeup on. Hey, Ange, this is an exciting night because the band is back together. He's back.
Woo!
David Robinson!
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Get out of town. I'm really excited to be back. I really am. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that you'd have me back, and I'm thrilled to be back here. So thank you very much. It's wonderful. Also, I think you might have seen my tweet. I think you both liked it. Rob probably didn't. Weirdly, because I did mention his name. So that's kind of odd that he didn't. He must have liked it.
I'll just check my Twitter feed.
Sound like him at all.
No.
Sorry, I know what it is, Robbo. There are just too many mentions to go through. I don't always notice the little
Oh,
ones.
yes, I know.
You don't. No, but it is great to be back here. I've got a lot to say. I've been holding it in for so long that I've got a bellyache, and that means a lot of hot air is going to come out one end, and we don't know which end. We're going to find out
Lord,
tonight.
here we go.
I love it. Hey, let's have a look at who our first message on social media was tonight, and it was MVP Madsen, and it's not that one. Looks like we've got a bit of a problem with our social media there, but it was MVP Madsen, and he said legs 11, I think. Was that it? I think was it something like that? Legs 11, Abby? Hairy legs 11. So we're off
gorgeous.
to a flying start tonight. That's the
Wait,
Ange,
refer
Rob
to
and Robbo
what?
show.
What does that mean? I mean, I know legs 11, which I love. Bingo. Forget about it. I love it. Yeah, I know that, but you
With
never say
hair?
hairy legs 11. Well, that's a bit
what it
unfair
means.
on you, Ange. Ange, I know that you probably sprout hair everywhere, but that's a bit unfair on you, MVP Madsen. That's
And you
not
know
very
what,
MVP.
Robbo, you came
Can you
back,
just
and
go
now
back
it's
to
time
where
for
you
to
came
go
from?
again,
It's been like
and-
2 minutes.
No, that was a nice thing. I was making fun of him.
Hey, before we get into our hot button issues, while we were on a break,
Love you.
two of our wonderful viewers, Mary and Jason, actually put on their own version of the show. Now, we always see their feedback coming through, so it was, Abby's written awesome here. I don't know about this. I'm a little worried. I guess it was awesome to see their own take on hot topics. Well done, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed that. And don't forget, there is an Ange, Robin, Robbo fan page, so you can go and like that as well as the official page. But well done to you guys. But
do we get royalties from all of that? Like, because they even said they were like the Ange, Robin, Robbo show fan club. I mean, I didn't see a logo, but I'm assuming
I'm seeing a lawsuit.
That's what. Thank you, Ange. Thank you.
To be honest, guys, I think we should just be grateful we've got fans that are devoted enough to do a fan page.
Good point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we should get into our hot button issues because a lot has happened since our last episode, with COVID-19 rearing its ugly head once again. Melbourne has gone into a snap lockdown, which will start at midnight tonight and run for 5 days. 2 cases were confirmed this morning, with a further 2 this afternoon. The Herald Sun reports the new cases are an 8-year-old boy and a teacher from Trinity Grammar in Kew. There is a total of 18 cases in Victoria, with 75 exposure sites. Queensland has recorded 5 new cases of coronavirus in the past 24 hours. 3 of them are in the community, including a 12-year-old boy and his father. That's led the Palaszczuk government to declare COVID-19 restrictions will remain in place for another week, including the wearing of masks. The restrictions were due to end tomorrow morning. New South Wales has recorded 65 new cases, with 28 infectious in the community. Premier Gladys Berejiklian announced Sydney's lockdown would be extended by 2 weeks at least. Now, that led to this fiery exchange with Sky News reporter Andrew Clennell at the press conference this morning.
Can you guarantee us that we won't be locked down and homeschooling for the entire month of August, the way things are going at the moment, or the first 2 weeks of August? Can you guarantee us this will end on July 30?
We've always relied on the best health advice, and we've also said that advice gives us the settings, but part of the result, and a huge part of the result, depends on all of our actions. People are responding, people are staying home, people are far less mobile, and we're deeply grateful for that. We're starting to see the results of that come through. And that's why we say at the end of the 2 weeks, we hope to be in a much stronger position than what we are now.
Will we be opening up or not? Or will we be locking down more, in your personal opinion, from everything you know? All the advice that you have.
It's very dangerous to ask about my personal opinion. It's never about our personal opinion. It should always be based...
What health advice are you getting about the likelihood of opening up on July 30?
The same health advice we provided yesterday and the day before, and I will ask Dr. Chant.
Do you expect to be opening up on July 30?
I will ask Dr. Chant to... I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I knew where we'd be in 2 weeks' time, but I do know, and I want to stress this message, I do know that a large component of where we'll be in the next 2 weeks depends on all of us.
What if you lock it down harder? What if you do tougher public health orders? What if you say 1 hour of exercise a day and shut retail? Are you saying that would have no difference in terms of when we come out of this?
We always base our decisions on the best health advice and on the best information available. We have yet to see, and I'll ask Dr. Chant to confirm this when I ask her to say a few words, but I haven't had presented to me a single example of transmission during outdoor exercise. I haven't had a single example of that level of transmission. What we base our settings on is the best health advice. And in relation to your recent interjection there, I've already said this morning, pharmacists, health clinics are the biggest source at the moment of people spreading the virus.
Look, there's a lot to digest here, guys. I think it's a bit rough to expect anyone to know whether a lockdown will be extended because nobody knows, depending on what happens. But I've got to ask, is it fair enough for reporters to push like that for clear answers, Ange?
It certainly is. As journalists, that is our job. The job of the politician, however, is to cover one's arse as best as one can in order to secure votes come election time, which generally means not giving a definitive answer to anything ever, so as to secure all bases. Look, Gladys was all, I wish I had a crystal ball, in response to Clennell there, whereas I think she just should have admitted that she made a mistake in blowing her state's trumpet on what a fabulous job that they were doing, and locked it down hard and fast. And look, she's desperate to not have her Liberal state be aligned with, oh my God, Labour Victoria, by locking down like we did. Gladys says that she doesn't have the answers.
Because she went banged on about how she didn't have to lock down. And I reckon, my opinion is, this situation in New South Wales is worse because she didn't want to lock down because she'd backed herself into a corner, right?
Absolutely. And, she was so busy, the self-congratulatory, nauseating nonsense. And it's like, oh, babe, you're going to get your turn. That's just what this virus does. And, Gladys is all like, well, I don't have all the answers, but she's paid to have the answers. And look, Daniel Andrews was repeatedly torn a new one by us journalists as well. No one seemed to care about that. But the one thing I do think about this is that journalists also need to know when to shut up and listen. And in this case, it feels to me like Andrew Cannell seemed much more interested in being the headline rather than he was in hearing what the Premier had to say.
What do you think, Robbo? Is it fair enough to attack premiers when they're under pressure trying to do the right thing like this? There are some people on our feedback saying it's rude.
Look, I don't think it's rude at all. I think that politicians need to be held account more and more in this country than what they are. Scott Morrison first coined the term Canberra bubble. I was talking to Abby, our producer, today, and more we're seeing that. And there's kind of a light shining on the Canberra Press Gallery, which kind of extends to also other press galleries around state parliaments and indeed around the country. The annoying thing is that they're all in the pockets of the politicians that they're meant to protect us, in lack of another word, from. So, if you play ball, then you get a little knock on the door. Hey, Robbo, we're going to give you the first couple of questions because you've been really nice with us. That to me is not journalism, and it's actually really woken me up. I know a few people, especially in the Canberra Press Gallery, who I really like personally as people, and I understand it's part of the game. I like this kind of argy-bargy. David Koch got in a lot of trouble for the same thing when he kind of pushed politicians for being rude. It's the same kind of thing to me. You know what? And I've always said this: you are not anointed. Berejiklian, Andrews, Palaszczuk, none of these people walked out of the house one day and were tapped on the shoulder by something or someone going, "You're going to lead us." No. You're elected and you need to answer to the people. This is really important because it really, you said a coarse language thing at the beginning of this show, so it pisses me off. I'm sorry if little Gladioli had to get a little bit upset. I'm sorry if little Dan Andrews gets a little bit upset. I'm sorry if Dan Andrews gets Anastasia Palaszczuk gets a little upset. I'm sorry about that. Really, whatever. Get used to it. You are paid the money. You are elected. You are not king and queen.
I'm not sorry at all.
This is not 15th century England. You need to answer the question. So, yeah, Ange, I agree with you that Clennell was probably going a little bit more after headline. I reckon there's been a message from high up in Sky News going, we went pretty hard on the Labor guy, so can someone go hard on the Liberal lady? Fine, whatever.
Or he just wanted some questions answered because the Sydney media are now feeling the bite of what a lockdown's like and they don't like it. But, Robbo...
No, wait. Can I please say you are 100% right because and we all know, we've all worked in Sydney media, and I was lucky enough to escape that regularly on television and go to other places where you'd go, oh, so you're not worried about Pitt Street kind of being half closed because one of the shops needed it. How are you not ruined? How is your whole life not ruined? Part of Pitt Street's closed. I've got to walk around.
Everyone outside of Sydney.
You realise outside of Sydney it doesn't matter.
Everybody outside of Sydney goes, anything that happens in Sydney is in the national news. If it happens in Brisbane or Adelaide, unless it's something big, it doesn't get mentioned. But the slightest little thing in Sydney, because all the producers work in Sydney, the news producers, they make a lead story on the Today Show. And
you don't know what it's like, okay? So I had to stay at home I had to wear a mask. Like, I had to wear a mask.
Oh,
today.
Robbo, I'm so sorry.
This is Sydney cider, Robbo. Yeah, I had to wear a freaking mask today.
But don't
Get over
you
yourself.
dare close the borders, Queensland and Victoria, to us. Well, Sydney, don't you dare close the borders to us. We want the right to travel and infect you.
God.
Yes,
And like that
well,
whole-
Sydney.
Even the lingerie shops are going to have to be closed. Even lingerie.
It's true. It's all true. It's just, but I'm really passionate
What if
about
I
this.
need, a cat o' nine tails or a pair of crotchless chaps?
We'll
Under
make sure we get
lockdown.
those to you.
This show's changed a little bit, hasn't it? I've been away for a while. I wasn't aware that we were allowed to bring up crotchless chaps. So
You're not,
if we're allowed,
There are
I was about to stand up actually and just say.
No.
No, just like Victoria and New South Wales, there are different rules on this show too, Robbo.
Absolutely. Hey, couple of quick things I want to get to before we change topics. Robbo, you said no politician is ever anointed. I challenge that. There was one politician who was anointed to become Prime Minister. That was Malcolm Turnbull, and he anointed himself. And then...
So did Tony Abbott, so did Julia Gillard, so
No.
did Kevin Rudd.
Malcolm
So did Scott
Turnbull saw it
Morrison.
as his destiny to become the Prime Minister.
And Scott Morrison,
right.
is he, sorry, guys, one quick thing.
Oh,
Is
God
he
wants
still currently
Scotty
our Prime
Scarmo to be
Minister?
Prime Minister. Hey,
Oh,
but
for God's sake,
before we
he still
move on,
is.
I just
Can you
want
not
to
hear me?
introduce you to our COVID dickhead of the week.
Many people who got sick or died from the
I know
virus.
3 people who got it and died, but you know what? I know people who got cancer and died too. So
You know 3 people who died from coronavirus and you won't get the vaccine.
no, I don't. Like I said, I don't need the vaccine.
You know, Darwinism is a great thing. And don't get your vaccine. Please, don't. And I hope that you feel the full effects if COVID ever comes knocking on your door. And that is why you are our COVID dickhead of the week. All right, let's move on. Get vaccinated.
I didn't know that was a segment.
You've been away, Robbo.
I'm not vaccinated. I'm waiting for the Pfizer.
Yes.
I'm well under 40. Well, there's a lot of daylight between me and 40.
Are you?
So I'm It's the Queensland Sun.
Sorry, time
It's the
out. I
Queensland
need to
Sun.
explain something, Robbo. The whole point of that one was that he knew 3 people that died of COVID, refuses to get the vaccine. As far as what you're saying, you're not refusing to get the vaccine. You just want the Pfizer as per the recommendations of what we've been told that people under 40 should get Pfizer. Am I not correct on that?
I don't know. Just because of the Liberal federal government, I just get so confused when people talk about this because there's never just an easy kind of message to understand. Hey guys, quickly, I still vote Labor. And just in case you were worried, I just wanted to make that point clear.
I really was. I was like, what have you done with Robbo?
No, I still vote Labor. And you'll hear about
dear
Labor.
viewer.
More
And
about
I say dear viewer
next
because I'm sure there's only one left at this point.
We can hear her laughing. That's the one. At least she's still laughing.
Dear viewer, that was just meant to be a quick hit of the stupidity of people around the world. COVID dickhead of the week. I did not know it would turn into a 5-minute monologue from Robbo about the fact that he votes for Labor. Congratulations, Robbo. We appreciate the insight.
It just seems like you're saying that will be the first monologue tonight. I have had my mouth shut for a long time. There's a lot more where that came from.
Oh, Lord. Can I call in sick?
All right, let's move on because
Too
there's
late.
a lot of other
It's
hot
too late.
topics. Hey, we all know politicians like to attack each other, but how far is too far and what standards do we expect from them? This week, Bill Shorten shocked ABC viewers during the conversation on afternoon briefings with host Patricia Cavalis when he said this.
People are sick of the political class, so let me just say for the record as a politician, the vaccine rollout in Australia is a shit show, Patricia. It is just a mess. And Scotty from marketing has got to take some of the responsibility for it.
You've just sworn on national television.
Well, I just think I've said, what, about 25 million people, 16
Okay.
million adults think.
Well, I'm not going to school you on how to speak. You can choose your words as you choose.
Well, he then doubled down on that language the following morning on the Today Show when Carl Stefanovic asked him about the bad language.
Well, it wasn't exactly Shakespeare, I acknowledge that, but don't you think that people are sick of politicians? Everyone thinks politicians think real thoughts, but then they never say them. And so I think I've just said, how else do you describe it? The vaccine rollout is a shit show, Carlos.
So
it's done.
He's doubled down.
Robbo, I'm going to guess you like this, but is it okay for our pollies to use this kind of language on national television?
Yeah, absolutely is. Can I defend PK there, Patricia Cavalis? She has a very difficult job. She's very high profile. She's already under a lot of fire from right-wing and centralist people about what her show is. She was trying to orchestrate, an interview there with someone who's really big still in our political landscape, and that's Bill Shorten. He was the last one that went against Scott Morrison. He said shit show. I can promise you now from personal experience that even just saying shit at that time of day, in that kind of context, and it's in context, which means that it's I'm going to get boring now, it's within the broadcast code because it was within context. And even the ABC charter says that you can swear to that level if it's in context on the broadcaster, both on radio and television. He did the right thing. She was in a very difficult position. So immediately I was kind of shocked a little bit that, okay, but I then remembered the kind of scrutiny that the ABC
The
is
code
under.
isn't an issue here because news programs have exemptions towards general classification.
No. Sorry. I'm going to cut you off there, Rob. That's all tickety-boo. You can say whatever you want about everything in the world. You can say that the sun is yellow, the sky is blue, but when it comes to ABC viewers and what is said on ABC radio and ABC TV, it doesn't matter. If one person says, well, I think the sky is kind of orange now at the moment, then that's a big thing to the broadcaster. She was doing the right job. He knew what he was doing. I wish that we'd seen this Bill Shorten a little bit when he was actually, vying for Prime Minister.
Got nothing to lose now.
But that's the
Always
point.
like Malcolm Turnbull. We see the real Malcolm Turnbull now, who the most Labour
and Matthias
politician.
Cormann. Don't even get me started on the Arnold Schwarzenegger wannabe that is Matthias Cormann, who's got a nice job overseas, is all about reducing carbon emissions. Oh, for God, that should be like what's taught in. Hold on, Daddy's been away for a while. Daddy needs to talk a little bit. If you're going to have Matthias Cormann change from going, well, the carbon emissions, it doesn't matter. There's no real, climate change to, we've got to do something about climate change. Sorry, I'm getting breathless myself. Climate change is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. This is the point. What was your question again? I'm so sorry.
Ange,
what?
Do you think it's okay for politicians to swear on TV?
Hello, I'm here too.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Sure, not at all. It's like, but listen, Shorten was only following in the hallowed footsteps.
Yeah, but Ange, what you've got to understand is that Bill Shorten is.
Sorry, we've lost Robbo there. His mic's gone. I don't know what happened.
What a shame. What a shame. No, seriously, Sean was
say
like
your
only...
point.
No, he was just like following in the hallowed footsteps of those who had gone before, and there are so many of them. For example, you take, US Vice President Dick Cheney, who told a senator to go F himself on the Senate floor on the same day that the US Senate passed the Defense of Decency Act. Being a sweary twat is a proud and sacred tradition amongst those sent to lead and inspire us. Of course. But I do think that generally you lose the argument once you swear because it means that you don't have the intelligence to reason or effectively debate without effing and blinding. But maybe, to shorten, shit isn't swearing. Maybe. I mean, I was always taught that to say crap is swearing, but now nobody thinks it is. But I do agree with Bill's point that the vaccine rollout has been a fiasco. So there. What about using the word fiasco? Or disaster? Or debacle? They are also words. Though I do like what Big Brother Oz tweeted before, saying, why didn't he just call it a fecal show? Perfect.
Ew.
I do like the idea of pollies being more truthful, which is where Bill is now. but I don't know.
Well, he couldn't be less truthful,
I think the
could
fact
he?
that he made the decision to do it the day after on the Today Show was just more political BS, because he saw that got him some headlines, and so he did it again on a bigger rating show, which is watched by kids. You know, kids are around when the Today Show's on. I don't know if that's the right.
Come on.
But I mean, kids these days, they're not like,
shit.
when we were growing up, where you would never hear shit on TV. Kids now, they just, they know much worse than that, and they hear much worse than that. We've discussed this before about, what's said on radio when you're trying to drive the kids to school. It's like, oh my God, quickly change the channel.
100% true, but there is a difference when you're the former leader of the opposition appearing on the Today Show in a Hot Topic segment. They had just bleeped the word, and you decided to repeat the word for some cheap political headline coverage. I actually think it's a bit weak, to be honest. And I'm sorry, Robbo, kids are around in the morning.
No, tickety-boo, that's all right. I understand that kids are around in the morning. If you don't like that the Today Show puts that to air, then don't turn it on. The same way as
you can't
if you don't
say
like
that
Kyle and
because the Today
Jackie.
Show
Yes, I can.
doesn't put it to air.
If Kyle and
That's the
Jackie O
difference, Robbo.
don't like it, then you change the radio session, don't you?
Yes, we know the kind of content
it's too
Kyle and
late.
Jackie O has. So you, as a parent, make a decision whether you want to listen to Kyle and Jackie O. I love Kyle and Jackie O.
What's the problem here? What's the problem here?
Right.
Whether it being a politician... No, hold on. Finally, we've got a politician. And also, I spoke with Abby about this today or yesterday. I do a lot of rants. I think I'm on the air all the time. Bless her, she listens to me. But what would happen? What would happen if we lived in a world...
She tolerates you, Robbo.
I was really hoping you'd use some other words
the
like
point
so
that I
that
was making, because you made a claim that people just don't watch the Today Show. The problem is...
No, I didn't say that. When did I say that people don't watch it?
No.
I never said that people don't watch the Today Show.
I said you made
you patronising little... No, I can't wait. Go for it. Here we go. All right, glad to be back. Sorry, I'm listening with my ear. I've only got one ear because I use an IB, so go ahead. I've got a little... Hold on. Actually. Oh, no, it won't be that. Go ahead. I'm listening with my ears, big boy.
What I actually said, this was my quote. You said that if people don't like swearing on the Today Show, turn it off. Don't watch.
Yeah.
But the problem is...
That's right.
The Today Show doesn't have swearing each and every day. The Today Show tries to keep it G-rated. It doesn't have Carl Stefanovic there swearing all the time. This politician made a decision while kids were possibly around on a show that parents trust doesn't have that kind of language.
Okay, so we're talking about language, or are we talking about innuendo? Because Carl Stefanovic is the king of innuendo.
It's not innuendo to say shit show. He said...
No, I didn't. Sorry, you're not... Sorry. Hey. Listen with your ears. Some smart man once said that to me. I'm saying that there's also a lot of innuendo on that show, more than on Sunrise. Carl Stefanovic is the king of innuendo.
Which is fine.
And you can go to YouTube. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, right. So how do you describe... What are they laughing at, Mummy and Daddy, when Lisa Wilkinson and him are going like that and everyone's laughing? So you explain that away, but you can't explain a word that is so simple that is shit. Anyway, we're going off topic here massively. The point is that it's finally great to see a politician who... What? Was that Latin?
Salve, quid agis.
Okay, let's move on, because this is an important story. Friend of the show, Georgia Love, has found herself in hot water this week after a tweet of hers went viral for all the wrong reasons. The since-deleted tweet was poking fun at the relationship between Married at First Sight stars Bryce and Melissa. The controversial couple announced they are having twins through an article in New Idea. This led Georgia to post, "Siri, show me the face of I've taken it too far." The comment was in relation to the fact many believe Bryce has stayed with Melissa despite not loving her, just to prove the critics wrong. It's a claim he denies. Many were quick to condemn Georgia's tweet, accusing the former bachelorette of hypocrisy after criticising bullies on social media, but she replied by saying, "It was a joke about the funny expression on his face. Calm down." She has since deleted the tweet. Now, Ange, Is this just a pile on, or was it actually bad form on Georgia's part?
People just need to chill the hell out. Georgia's a really good chick. I've always really liked her as a person, but she is a reality TV type who loves publicity, and she's giving other reality TV types who love publicity, which I'm sure they're salivating over. So there's nothing to see here as far as I can tell. You know, Georgia's not jealous. She's not bullying. She's not trolling. She's just making an observation, which I'm sure plenty of us thought but didn't say. I think what she said was actually really funny. And, you know, let's not pretend the whole Bryce is a gaslighter, Melissa's desperate for affection thing didn't happen. All of a sudden they're having twins and it's, oh my God, hurrah, isn't love grand? Georgia called it right.
I thought it was a funny tweet. I saw
thought it was great.
Pop up in my feed. I didn't even think anything of it. And then I saw these headlines. I thought it was funny, Robbo.
Me too.
Can I say, I didn't think I'd get to do this on the first episode back, but it just fits here. If you're going to play football, you've got to expect to get grass stains. And that's what happens here. So if you are tweeting about bullying and saying mad things and mean things, and, you know, Twitter should just be this rainbows and lollipops, you know, land where everyone's happy and no one's sad, then fine. Well, Georgia Love, you can't do that. The only tweets that Georgia Love can do, and bless you, GL, hello, hi, sure you're watching. The only tweets that she can do because of her background, and I'm being serious now, changing gear, is very sweet, very lovely tweets to everyone, because she's taken such a hard line on any kind of bullying or mean tweets or anything like that, which is great because Twitter is the gutter of the internet. So I don't, you know, have anything against her for doing that. She now, though, has no license to say anything bad or disparaging to anyone about anything, because she has said back to people who have said to her on Twitter, oh, I'm happy and I'm getting married in, you know, in the middle of lockdown, or I've got 2 businesses running and everyone's dying in the pandemic, or, you know, whatever, I don't care. I'm bored already. But the point is, because of her stance, then she has a particular stance that she has to adhere to. Simple as that.
I agree with you. I like Georgia.
I didn't think I'd get the bell as well. Oh my God, I got the bell.
God. Wow.
We've been on an emotional roller coaster tonight, but you are right, Robbo. I really like Georgia. I think in the cold light of day she would regret the tweet. And hey, come on, it's Twitter. We all do something very quick and we make mistakes. And I think you raise a good point. If she's calling out bullies, that could be seen as a bullying tweet. Having said that, yeah. I saw it and laughed. You know,
it's not bullying. Oh my God, it's what all of us were thinking.
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm literally on the fence. I'm in the middle this time. This is a first. I'm looking at Robbo and I'm going, good point. I'm looking at Ange. I'm going, good point. Robbo, good point. Ange, good point. I'm like playing tennis, watching tennis here. Oh my God. Oh, well, that's very boring. Let's move on.
I need a cigarette. After all that kind of action.
All right.
I wish I had my
time for a tipsy Thursday drinking game. Every time I say the word sign, you have to take a healthy ARR show swig of whatever you're drinking tonight. And I just realised I don't have a wine.
What?
That's vodka. I got
preposterous
vodka. Just saying, there were extra people in the room, not kids or anything.
The wine of the potato.
Wine, could they? Just anyone who's there, any one of the production crew that isn't a child. Let's have a look at this again. So, you know the rules. Every time I say the word sign, you have to take a healthy, or every time you hear the word sign, you have to take a healthy ARR show swig of whatever you're drinking. Now that counted as one, so have one. Here we go. There are many perplexing signs in life. Signs that a family barbecue isn't going so well, or signs that a relationship has come to an end. All can be bewildering, but it appears that one sign that is utterly confusing is the parking sign. One man has hilariously shared his bemusement at a parking sign in Sydney. Have a look.
Oh, he's a beautiful man. Oh. I'm aroused by that. Okay. Yeah, he's hot. But look at him. And the acting as well.
Your mic's on.
No, I'm aware. I'm excited. Sorry, these are thoughts I'd say anyway. Look at so he's bewildered. Look at him. Doesn't know what he's still hot though. So I don't know.
Mark McLachlan, like so many of us, was left feeling a little befuddled when he noticed the sign. So he shared it on TikTok, as I almost called it. Seriously, I think that was in Sydney. We said parking signs in Sydney can be a bit of a joke. I guess they're trying to say, I don't know what they're trying to say there. I got no idea. Ange?
It is the age-old sign question. Can I park here? Yes, you can't.
But there are some signs in Sydney, in the city, where it's a big sign
Phillip
like
Street.
this, and it has like 5 different rules for different time zones. Thank you, production person, who shall remain nameless.
That was a child.
It was not a child.
Or Amanda has very tiny hands.
That seriously, I have sat there just trying to work out what the actual rule is, because there are different rules for different times that seem to overlap, that have this exclusion. Does anyone know what that's trying to say?
Well, I do know officially. I've got some background knowledge on this. It's actually meant to be for, your hoity-toity types, that you can't park your boat there. You can't park your jet ski there. The wonderful thing about this is that even though...
Or your caravan.
Or your caravan, that's right. Even though you look at that beautiful kind of... It feels like he's got Viking heritage. He's got something about him. Maybe his friends call him Macca. Hi, Macca. He's just an attractive man who can act. But the thing is, though... He doesn't look it. Someone told me he was 44. Maybe it was his wife. I don't know. Annoyingly, yeah, that's right. Everyone, he's got a wife. Lame. But he's 44. He's a cameraman. He shoots these kind of stuff, and he acts in his own stuff. This is a beautiful man. Look, takes my breath away every time. Look at the eyebrows. What's happening here is what he's saying. It's the words you don't say. The other thing is he got 120,000 views. And
Jason is going to be absolutely incandescent at you, I just want to say.
Oh, no.
I hope he's not watching this.
I can do 2 at once. And so Macca here, this beautiful man, he's a cameraman at Channel 10 in Sydney that I worked with for years. He's a wonderful man. He's 44. He got 120,000 views at last count. TikTok is asking him if he wants to monetize his account because he hit that amount of money. He's a cameraman. I mean, a wonderful man.
Well, he can't live off a Channel 10 salary, so good on him.
No.
Try living off an Robin Robbo salary.
Touche.
You're right there. But he's wonderful. And all of those things, like, that's what makes it funny, is that, and that was his first TikTok, and he gets 120,000 likes. Anyone in the world who's on TikTok would, die for, 5,000 or 10,000. This fella... because he's wonderful. And hello, Macca. I know you're watching. Hello to your wonderful wife, Steph. I love you both equally. Just because you got different parts doesn't mean I don't love you the same. I love you both equally. And I know they're watching tonight, so a big hello to you. But what a wonderful debut to TikTok. And he's right. What the hell does that mean? But it means no boats.
I had to look it up.
Yes.
I had to look it up. I had, even though, as you know, I've only been driving for 5 minutes compared to normal people. I did have to look up what it meant. But you know what? Suffer. You've got signs over there like that. Here in Victoria, we've got bloody hook turns. We all suffer in some way.
I love a hook turn. the hook turns, once you know how to do them, they actually help traffic flow go so much better.
Once you know how to do them, that's the one.
No.
50 years, you don't know how to do them.
I got caught
when you first
in the
go to
city.
Melbourne and have to do a hook turn, it's a very scary thing, but then it's fine.
Oh, God. I got caught in the city a couple of years ago trying to turn right, just like a normal person turns right, and all I heard behind me was, woo! Ah, my God! And it was, and I round out my window, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I don't know what this is. And he was just like, it's only hook turns in the city, don't ya? And then he just took immediate sympathy for me, and then he spoke to his partner and came back and had me go to the passenger side, and he drove me to my destination.
Because he didn't trust you.
I like to think it's because he fancied me, but all right, Rob.
Sorry, that's where I was going. You certainly weren't wearing the top that you're wearing tonight. That's Jerry.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was going. No, that's a compliment. I mean, that she's so
This,
pretty.
by the way, is a tiny mini dress. You should see what's under here.
No, thanks. So I mean, sorry.
Hang
sorry.
on.
No, you're not the demographic.
What? 1 second. Oh my God.
You're right, by Jove.
Anyway, coming up, so much still coming up. We're going to do another lot of hot topics because we don't feel we've let Robbo speak enough. We're also going to see the first pictures of the Big Brother house, and there is so much more as Joe pops by to bring us the latest in film news. But first, can you believe Sesame Street turns 51 this year? While every kid has their favourite character, Elmo has certainly become a firm favourite for many. And to celebrate this amazing milestone, Elmo is here on the Ange, Robin, Robbo Show. Elmo, welcome to the show.
Hi, how you doing?
Look, I'm really, really well. First thing I need to know is we're celebrating a big milestone for Sesame Street, but the world is dealing with a very big situation. How is COVID affecting the monsters on Sesame Street?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. Elmo's mommy and daddy got vaccinated, which means that they are healthy and safe. And it's very important to listen to the doctors so everybody can stay safe and healthy, like Elmo's family. So we're being really careful, and luckily everybody is very healthy. Thank you for asking.
Well, that's very good, my friend. And can I just say, for every child who has ever watched Sesame Street, and I include the older children like myself, it is such a thrill to meet someone who has such a big influence on lives of children around the world. Does that fill you with a sense of pride when you realise how many people around the world love you?
Well, Elmo doesn't really think about it all that much. Elmo just tries to be a good monster. And Elmo tries to be good to other people. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Is there a naughty side to Elmo?
No. Why would you say
that? Because you are a monster, Elmo. A little lovely monster, of course, but you are cheeky sometimes, shall we say?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Tell me about some of the celebrities you've worked with. Over the years, you've worked with a lot of celebrities. One of my favourite a few years ago was Ricky Gervais, and he's a very cheeky man. And you had a lot of fun with him. You've sung songs with him. But tell me about some of the celebrities that are appearing on Sesame Street in the coming weeks and months.
Oh, yeah, we have lots of wonderful people coming by. Let's see, Kelsey Ballerini sang a really cool song about families. Oh, Billy Porter was here, and Billy was wonderful. Let's see, Maggie Rogers, Issa Rae, Aisha Curry, Stephen Curry, lots of great people.
Now, that's a really impressive lineup. But of course, talking about what we mentioned before with COVID, I know that my kids now are having to spend a lot of time on devices virtually playing with people and their friends. Is that something you're having to do as well?
Yeah. for a little while there, Elmo was really sad that he couldn't go to school or have play dates with Elmo's friends like Abby and Big Bird. But Elmo's daddy set up video play dates, kind of like what we're doing right now.
I know. I feel like I'm having a play date with Elmo. It's very, very exciting. Also, talk to me about you. Are you coming back to Australia anytime soon? Once we're all allowed to travel again, will we see you back here in Australia? We miss you.
Is that an invitation?
Oh yes, you can stay at my house up on the Gold Coast for sure.
Oh, cool. Well, Elmo would love to. Elmo really wants to get back to Australia. It's one of Elmo's favorite places in the world.
It is, and we are all very sorry we can't travel at the moment, but what we do get by watching ABC Kids is we get to see Elmo all the time on Sesame Street, and that's bringing a lot of joy to my family who are watching this. The kids are staying up to watch it. It's a good thing to be able to connect with people, isn't it?
Yes, it's very important to stay connected.
Talk to me about some of the other monsters on Sesame Street. Oscar the Grouch, is he really that grouchy, or when the cameras are off, does he let loose and he's a bit of fun?
Well, you know what? This is a secret. You won't tell anybody, right?
Yes.
Oscar is actually really, really nice. Sometimes. If you get him on the right day. But Elmo loves Oscar. He's really nice. And, he likes different things. He likes his trash can and trash. And, that's cool. It's not Elmo's thing. But Elmo's happy that he's happy.
You have blown my mind.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, no. I'm really pleased to hear that Oscar is a nice monster. We only ever see the grouchy side of him. Who, and this is going to be a hard one, Elmo, who is
here we go.
Yeah. Who is your favourite monster on Sesame Street?
This is a very difficult question. And Elmo always has a hard time. Because if Elmo says Big Bird, then Cookie Monster gets upset.
Yes.
If Elmo says Cookie Monster, Ernie and Bert are like, hey. What about us? Elmo loves everybody.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? When you've got so many friends to choose from, you're a very lucky monster.
Elmo's very lucky, that's true.
Indeed. Now, you were not one of the original monsters in Sesame Street. The show has been going for a long time, and we're really celebrating Sesame Street at the moment. How exciting for you was it to come into this world of Sesame Street and be part of the team?
Well, when Elmo moved here, everybody was really friendly. Elmo's been here for a while now. It feels like a really long time. But Elmo's only 3.5. Elmo doesn't understand that. But when we moved here, everyone was friendly, and that's when Elmo met Big Bird and Oscar and Gordon and Maria, and everybody was really, really nice.
Well, it's a 51-year tradition, Sesame Street, and you have certainly been a big part of that. As you said, you've been here for a very long time, and you have become adored around the world. I hope you know how much we all love you.
Well, Elmo can feel the love, and Elmo loves all of you, too. Right back at you.
My kids are going to be so jealous. The 51st series of Sesame Street is on the ABC right now on ABC Kids. Make sure you watch it every weekday morning. Elmo, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Elmo. And Elmo, I hope you have a wonderful day.
We will. How could you not have a wonderful day when you're talking to Elmo? Robbo, you were lucky enough. You got to meet Elmo on Studio 10.
I did. I did. Well, it was on Sunrise. It wasn't on Studio 10, which was lovely of you to mention. And also, didn't know we were coming back. And if I knew, weirdly, because it's not radio, I would have had that clip ready if you were going to mention that, even though I'd mentioned to you many times before you spoke to the wonderful Little Red Man, as you did just then, first appearance in 1980 in season 11 of Sesame Street. But you never mentioned that you were going to mention it now. Otherwise, I would have had that clip ready to go. But at least this is not live. You let me know when we're back. What's that? We're back on. Oh,
do you ever
Elmo,
have those days, Ange, where you feel you can't win with someone?
I have them frequently. But hey, look, I was actually on the Indian equivalent of Sesame Street called Gali Gali Sim Sim. And their big bird is a giant vegetarian lion. And so he was extolling the virtues of vegetarianism to me while I was I looked about this big. In a swing in a tree. It was amazing. But then but all the set is exactly the same as regular Sesame Street. So I'm walking down Sesame Street and I look at it, oh my God, Susan and Gordon's house. And my hand was like, no, government building.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, which I think that is such an amazing experience. What do you think about, though, indoctrinating young children with this kind of extreme propaganda of only eating vegetables and not eating meat? How did you feel being part of that kind of just extreme
I'm ringing the bell
propaganda?
because Joe is standing by. Joe is standing by. Speaking of the one and only
Thank
Joe,
God.
she's back in the house. It's like a full reunion. Hello, Joe Castellino. Get in here.
Hey,
How are you, my dear?
JC. Woo.
Hey, darling.
Hello.
Darling.
I'm so excited to see people that are not my children. It's wonderful. Hello.
It's so good to see you. Hey, look, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I will. I know that because I've spoken about Jono a lot on a lot of mediums, but and I'll give you and Robbo a chance just to say your pieces about Robbo. Obviously, I loved him. He was a big part of Studio 10. We all worked with him. And Ange as well worked with him. All of us worked with Jono on Studio 10. And probably a good time right now to take a moment just so you guys can say have a quick remembrance and say your thoughts on Jono. Joe, what would you like to say as someone who worked with him quite a bit?
Yeah, Rob, thank you for that, because obviously it's been on my mind and many across the nation's mind this week, the sad passing of Jono. And I do have to say this, and often in TV land, we talk and we say nice things, but Jono really was. And present company excluded, or maybe not even excluded, I don't think you would even care for me to say that Jono was probably the nicest man I ever met in TV land. And when I say that, I mean it was genuine, it was sincere. There were very few people who behind the scenes actually really, really care and text you and worry about you. I could always go to him. I used to go to him for jokes, believe it or not, because I clearly am not funny. And he was always very funny. So whenever I had a speaking gig, I'd text him and he'd throw me a joke. He really was one of those wonderful people who, as amazing as he was on screen, believe it or not, he was even more bloody fantastic off screen. And I only, got to know him for a small amount of time. So I can't imagine the huge hole he has left for Margot and his two children. But yeah, one of the good guys.
Beautifully said there, Joe. What about you, Ange? You worked with him as well. What are your remembrances of the wonderful Jono Coleman?
I did. It just feels strange to think about Jono and work in the same sentence. God, he was just such a warm, loving, amazing guy, and just always wanted to talk about his time in England. He absolutely loved his days in TV land over there. He was there for a long time. And I just always remember in every ad break, he would just be like right up next to me and want to just talk. And it's like, darling, I love you. I love you to bits. I'm anchoring 3.5 hours live. I kind of need my ad breaks. I kind of do. But then you go, when I got the ad break and he wasn't right next to me chewing my ear off, it's like, where's John? I really miss him now. But he was just such an amazing, amazing guy and universally adored across this industry. And you can't say that about many people.
No, not at all, Ange. I think you've both said the wonderful things. I know that when I found out that he passed away, it was shocking. He was a giant. And I said this in a couple of social media posts. And I genuinely mean this, and I'm getting goosebumps, which is not about me, but I was lucky enough to work with him. Like I was lucky enough to do skits with him, or bounce off him.
Yeah.
We did stories together. This is an amazing man. The other thing that's amazing about him is that I think what happens is when you're the funny guy, as Jono was, and was for the entirety of his career, and he's wonderful. You kind of dismiss or just don't counter that he's very smart, and he was very smart. He was very articulate. He was also very intuitive and never judgmental, which is one of the terms that I used in just one of the posts that I put up about him, was that he was never judgmental. There are no secrets among our audience or any audience that I have, some pretty heavy mental health issues. And to Jono, it just didn't matter. It was just, he was the sweetest man, off camera, on camera. If you've ever been lucky enough, and if you're watching, to know what it feels like to get a text message from Jono, it's a lot of punctuation. It doesn't make
The full stops. The full stops.
Full stops everywhere.
Yeah.
Lots of kisses. It is such an amazing experience to have worked with him. We would have production meetings where things were really quite serious, and you'd see him walk along the window with that smile that only Jono Coleman had, where he'd walk along, and sometimes it'd be like, oh, Jono's here. But there would always be this thing of, let's see what he's got to say. Opens the door. See, Jono was on primetime last night. He would talk in third person, bless him. Jono was on primetime. Yeah, Jono, yeah, everyone, yeah, good work. Jono was on primetime. Yes, and he closed the door and then he walked. The wonderful thing that I want to say about Jono Coleman, and sorry I'm going on, I know we're against time here, but the wonderful man would also love the wonderful coverage that he's getting. He loved the media.
That's what I was thinking.
He loved the radio.
Yeah.
He loved the TV. And I kept putting up things with us in it. And I just knew straight away that it didn't matter that I was in it or whatever. It doesn't matter. He would just think, well, why isn't there a news story on 3 days after I passed away, or 2 days, 4 days, and I mean that with the most love, because we all know Jono, he always wants the more airtime, he always wants to do more things, and rightly so. He is amazing. I will miss him, and I am forever grateful that someone like me, who tries to do what he did for so many years, being funny and whatnot on TV and doing it on radio as well, I am forever grateful that I got to work with him. So, yeah, whatever.
I'll just quickly say he was the biggest pain in the arse.
To produce?
And I love him so much, and I think I've made that very clear, but I also think it would be disrespectful not to talk about the fact we had some corker arguments. When he was on Studio 10, he would do the intros to the advertorials live, and he would walk off set and we would take the pre-recorded version.
Yeah.
And he would take liberties with those live ones, especially when I would say, Jono, it needs to be quick. There would be times where I would walk into the studio threatening him, just off camera, if he didn't just do a quick throw. And one time I even said, that's it, Jono, I'm using the pre-recorded version. And he said, no, you won't, Robbo, I'm doing it live. And and I said, no, Jono, I can't trust you. I'm doing it pre-recorded. And anyway, he went and stood in position, and I told the DA to roll the pre-recorded one, and he burst into the control room, started tearing shreds off me. I tore shreds off him. Anyway, the show finishes. I'm back at my desk, and he walks in and he says, do it all again tomorrow, Rob? And I went, absolutely, John. I loved him. He was so
fantastic.
That person where you just think, you just go, he's still, he's so large, and he's so Jono, and he loved being Jono, that I think because I'm not in Sydney and I'm not at Piermont, that it'll never fully settle in. So I get really emotional about it, but you just go, but if I was still working in Piermont, I would look around, because the great man would be telling a story to one person, but he'd see someone a little bit higher than that person, and then would then go, Peter Meakin, I was just saying that I was on time last night. I mean that in the most beautiful, loving way.
So true.
And that's what he would do. And so to not be where he is, I don't know, maybe is kind of a nicer thing, because you still think he's still around, he's still there, you know.
Well, he lives on forever, doesn't he, through his work?
Yeah, and that's what it feels like, and I do apologise. We've taken...
And for us talking about him, he'd love that.
But he would love it. He's up in heaven, or wherever he is, going, oh, this is a week later, they're still talking about me.
10 minutes.
Fantastic. Full stop.
And I mean that with love, but we all, if you know Jono Coleman, you know that's a special thing about him, and he was just open about it. And I love him, and I remember him, and I forget him. No, I don't want to get too emotional. Sorry. Love him. That's what I want to say. We'll let it all out.
All right. Well, we love you, Jono, and I think someone said it on the social media. Let's raise a glass to Jono. Jono, we love you. Well done.
Yes.
To Jono.
To the great man.
To the great man. All right, Joe, let's move on for the reason you're hearing us to talk films. And Legally Blonde is celebrating a big milestone.
That's right, from one icon to another. Legally Blonde, of course, with Reese Witherspoon, turned 20. Can you believe this week? This has really been one of the most iconic early 2000 rom-coms. It inspired, well, apparently a whole generation of young lawyers. It had a Broadway adaptation. Yeah, I say that very loosely, or wannabe lawyers. It had a Broadway adaptation. There was a sequel that followed, and rumours that have been around for years of a third movie were actually confirmed last year. It also starred Luke Wilson and Selma Blair. This movie had such a big cultural impact, and to celebrate its anniversary, Reese has been sharing some behind-the-scenes, never-before-seen images. Oh God, don't you love that simple essay she wrote into get into this law school? And in these pictures, we get a sneak peek at what was an alternate ending. A few years ago, some of the writers revealed that there was a flash forward where Elle Woods and Vivian, the character played by Selma Blair, had started the Blonde Legal Defence Fund, and that Vivian also had blonde hair now, and they'd finally gotten to see that. There were also rumours that Elle and Vivian were actually romantically involved in the flash forward, but these rumours were squashed quite recently by another writer. But 20 years, such a big milestone for the movie, and the third instalment is expected next year. Fun fact, Reese got to keep the wardrobe, including 77 pairs of Jimmy Choo shoes, which she had written into her contract at the time. That's a nice little bonus, isn't it?
Not bad at all.
It is.
There you are. Why don't you watch that if you're in lockdown? I highly recommend it with the kids. I saw the musical, love the movie. It's a lot of fun, and one that you can repeat time and time again.
Oh, it is. I always loved it as well. You know, Joe, I have missed you so much for the last 2 weeks, my darling. Almost as much as your Choc Top reviews. What did you see this week? Well,
I'm going to disappoint you, Angela. I know you're not a huge fan of the Marvel Universe. Unfortunately, it seems to be where everything is at currently. I am in lockdown, so I didn't watch the movies, and I'm already missing them, I know. But this week I saw Black Widow, which Marvel has really been pushing out so many releases, whether movies or TV shows at the moment. But this is the long overdue story of Scarlett Johansson's character, Natasha Romanoff. This is her last film, can you believe, as the Black Widow. She has played her for over 11 years now across 8 Marvel films. Let's have a look at the trailer, and I'll give you my thoughts after.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. We have to go back to where it all started.
Where did you think I was all this time?
We have unfinished business.
My girls are the toughest girls in the world.
I'm sorry. We had our orders and we played our roles.
It wasn't real.
It was real to me. To me, you were everything.
Bring her home.
Put your seatbelts on. She's such a mom.
sure. I'm done running from my past.
Look, so long in the making, it's hard to live up to expectations, isn't it? For me, this did meet expectations, but I'm not going to say exceed them. It is, as a standalone, you could watch this. You don't have to know the whole backstory of the Marvel Universe. It has Scarlett's sister Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, who you might recognise from Little Women. She has all the 16-year-olds I know very excited. He's hoping she has a larger role in the future. And the support cast with Rachel Weisz and David Harbour, I loved. I did like that it put sort of flesh on the bones of Scarlett's character in a way that's been hinted about in all the Avenger films leading up. You know, why she left Budapest, her internal conflicts and all that family trauma that she suffered. But you know, there were some things that were a little bit annoying for me. The accents were jarring. And the last act was very over the top. But that's what we kind of expect from Marvel. If you're a strong Marvel fan, you will get a kick. If not, I'm not sure if you'll want to pay the $29.99 you have to pay for Disney to get it at the moment. The final act, as I said, was, you know, very over the top. But still a nice balance of family drama and spy thriller. So I'm going to give it 3 chop tops out of 5.
So 3 chop tops there. Joe, I wanted to ask you about this.
You want to know my rankings?
The Enter films, I love your rankings. Is that what you asked me? I love whatever you asked me. I love what you say. Yes, I love it all, Joe. Whatever you got going, I love it. But what I want to ask you is that with the Avengers films, a little bit of the other Avengers come up for cameos and things like that, but there were no other Avengers in the Black Widow. So I found that kind of very jarring, considering that even Iron Man makes a cameo, or Spider-Man, like in another universe, not a universe, but another film. Do you think that was also jarring for the audience? And how did you feel about that watching it?
I don't know about jarring, but definitely disappointing. I know in my lounge room, every child was like, there's no one else. I mean, and while I could respect Rachel Weisz and some of those support characters as great actors, and I enjoyed those moments,
sure,
they're looking for the characters they recognise, and that was very disappointing for them. And my sons, just could not get past it. So, because they usually do appear,
because everybody hates Scarlett Johansson.
I think we need some clarity on this. The simple reason is because everyone involved with the first phase of Marvel, whether it's Captain America or Iron Man and all the others, have left. They are no longer part of Marvel. The actors have done their final filming. They don't want to be part of it anymore. And so...
Are you Scarlett Johansson's PR?
Yeah, but
But Rob, you watched this, didn't you? You've seen this with your family. So I'm actually interested to know on your thoughts of what you and the kids thought.
It exceeded my expectations, funnily enough. I didn't think I was going to think much of this because she doesn't have superpowers. What's the storyline going to be? I actually wasn't expecting much, even though I should know better with Marvel because they do great basically concepts. Look at Loki, and WandaVision and things like that. I really enjoyed the film. I am loving the fact that I can watch it at home. I love the fact that I can gather around. And this is where you and I will disagree, Joe. I know that. But I love being able to pay that $30 on top of my Disney subscription and have they call it the instant premiere access, which allows you to watch the film at the same time it's in the cinemas. I just loved being able to do that. And it got me excited to go back and watch Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, well, you must go to the cinema for those if you see them out and about where you are, because being in lockdown in Sydney, I had to watch this one on Disney Plus, as we just discussed.
I chose to watch it at home.
But it is it just doesn't have the same effect, and it's not the same celebration. And we've discussed that many times. But this movie has actually really put an interesting spin on whether people will continue to watch at the cinema. It made $80 million at the box office, which isn't what Marvel movies would sort of usually get, but it was still considered a pretty big win considering the current climate, and that's worldwide I'm talking. But it also earned an addition.
The Disney Access
Well, there was $60 million on Disney Plus, which has some industry people kind of saying, well, perhaps studios just don't need the cinema anymore.
So hang on, Joe, are you saying 80 and 60 is what, $140 million
combined? Yes,
week?
yes.
That's a good result,
yes.
isn't it?
And it was a July 4 long weekend in America, and a lot of cinemas have just reopened there. But the difference for the studio heads, and this is really interesting, Rob, is that they only get 50%, I think, of the takings of box office with the studio and the cinema chains in a theatrical release. But on the streamers, they get 80%. So it's an uncertain time, I think, for cinemas.
Yeah, I just
sadly,
I think this is the way we're going, and I love.
It cost $200 million to make that movie, and they've only made back the way that they're doing it. And I agree with Joe. Cinema is the way to see these kind of. You don't see a Marvel movie on your little 60-inch TV at home. And I'm not a size queen, I'll tell you right now, but 60 inches isn't that big anymore, right? So you're not going to go there. Yes.
But that's its first week.
No comment on that.
That's 140 million in its first week. As Joe said, 80 million was from the cinema, 60 million from streaming. They're pretty good stats to say people are embracing streaming.
But that's not the defining a blockbuster. A blockbuster is defined by massively beating their initial budget. Now, if that's their first weekend and they only managed to buy both, that's even worse.
That's not bad for week one.
Days. But it took 7 days for them to reach that amount of money that wasn't even their budget. Whereas in like a true, honest blockbuster, and the reason that the word blockbuster exists in the movie world is that you surpass your budget so quickly, and in the opening weekend. That's why we always hear the words opening weekend. We're not hearing
Robert,
that now.
You've got to remember, only half the cinemas across the world are open right now. So I don't think you can judge it accurately. Yes,
but it does show that people are willing to do it via the streaming services.
We've always been willing to do it via streaming. Oh, you meant watching a movie. I think you meant making
Joe, can someone talk about the next one, which is about Mark Wahlberg?
Hang on,
I'm interested in that.
And just one sec, I just want to make one last point. I would rather spend $30 to watch a film with the family rather than the $100 it cost me to get movie tickets and then the popcorn on top. And then the chalk top.
Oh, you don't go to Aldi ahead of time and stash it all in your secret bag?
That's exactly
what us single mums do.
Exactly.
I don't. My wife does.
At the cinema?
My wife does. Amanda is on to that big time. But anyway, Angela Rao, you have the floor.
Oh, what's her name again? Sorry.
I know. Really, what is what? Honestly, I'm really confused right now.
I've been away for like 6 weeks, and I still know that it's Angela Rao, isn't it?
What did I say?
Thanks, darling. Thank you.
I
don't know. Either way, I assume you're referring to me, and I want to talk about Mark Wahlberg. Thanks very much.
And this one is going to melt your heart. I put this one in just for you, just to counteract the Marvel Universe. There's a new trailer for Marky Mark's new movie, and honestly, grab a box of tissues. You are going to need it. It's called Joe Bell. It is based on the true story of Joe Bell, who planned to walk across America to spread awareness about bullying after his son took his own life for being bullied for being gay. As you said, it stars Marky Mark. Connie Britton, one of my favourites, is also in it. Friday Night Lights, Connie Britton.
She's amazing.
And Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the producers. It's already got Oscar buzz talk, and it's giving me goosebumps that you're about to see the preview for this. It's so incredible. Let's take a look.
My name is Joe Bell, and I'm on a walk for change. I'm walking across America to speak out against bullying.
I'm getting picked on by these guys at school.
Why is that?
I'm different.
That's not an answer, Jaden, all right?
Because I'm gay.
We're gonna let nature take its course, all right? It'll all be fine. It'll work itself out.
Joe.
What?
It's not gonna work itself out.
My son is 15 years old, took his own life because he was bullied.
This is your fault. You knew he was suffering. I mean, what did you do?
Feeling nervous, aren't you, boy?
There's a lot of things I've learned out here. Nobody but me for company. Some of it's been hard to come to know.
Just be careful, all right?
Lola, song.
Don't ever let them steal your joy.
I still feel Jaden's presence.
I thought being out in the wild would help you be a man.
What does that mean to you, be a man?
I was afraid for you. We were all afraid for you.
If there's just one thing you remember today, you make it this. Hold on to the ones you love, and you love them for who they are, because you may not get that chance again.
Jesus.
Wow. Did that just, honestly, this all happened in 2013. The story actually gets even more tragic. I don't even know that I wanted to share this with you, but Joe started this walk and was halfway through the journey when something even more tragic happens. I'm actually not going to spell it out here. It's going to be a tearjerker for sure. It's being released in the US next week. We haven't got confirmation here, but I will be the first to let you know, because this is one that I think even you, Rob, should get to the cinema for. It's a story that needs to be...
Joe.
Really?
Oh my God, I would be there in a trice, in an absolute trice.
Thank you, Ange. The emotional one.
Asleep.
Oh, Rob, it's about acceptance. It's about one boy's tragic, oh my God, and a father and his own.
I'm just trying to get a rise out of you, Joe, and I'm glad I did.
Amanda, he must be a rock. Heart of a rock. What did she say?
Let me tell you, not where it counts. I'll tell you right now. He's too old.
Amanda, I've opened your mic.
Oh my God.
Hey,
well, I hope he's a rock in other places, Amanda. There you are. All right, that's all for me.
Well,
on that note,
before you go, Joe, it's a very special day here at the Ange, Rob and Robbo show, because we've got the whole team back together. Jason's around the corner. But before we get to Jason, did you know it is our producer Abby's 26th birthday today?
Oh my God, are you joking, Abby? I've been texting you all day. Happy birthday, beautiful girl.
She won't be able to.
Why didn't you say something?
Hands on.
Because she's still getting the Botox to make her look 26. So once she gets that
Before you go,
happy birthday, darling girl. You are the.
You can hear it. Sound issues. Because you know when you're a dad, sometimes you have to do things for your kids. My daughter Jasmine's just gone, what are you talking about? Jazzy has made a video to celebrate Abby's 26th birthday, and I'm going to play that right now. Let's have a look.
I can't wait.
Oh, bless. Ooh, bless.
That's my kids. That's my daughter.
Scrambled egg and.
What else is there?
Oh my gosh! I mean,
Oh, well done, Jay. I was mucking
Happy
around before,
birthday. Well
Jazzy.
done,
That was
Jazzy.
really well done.
Well done, Jazzy. Well done.
We could
God,
not
like
have
father,
a
like
show
daughter.
without Abby. We love her. She does so much. Abby, thank you for everything that you do. We love you very, very much, and we appreciate your hard works. Joe, thank you very much. I just thought you should be part of that.
Abby.
Yes. Abby is the life and soul of everything. Happy birthday, darling girl. I can't believe he made you work today. Should have got a day off.
Well, we thank you very much, Joe. Happy birthday, Abby. Joe, we will see you next week on the show.
Bye,
See you guys.
It's the Red Light Shot of the Day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the Red Light Shot of the Day.
Here we go.
And a very big happy birthday to our wonderful, wonderful producer, Amy Mickelson. Happy birthday, Dal. See when you get home. It's the left side of the bed for you tonight. Today we're taking you, though, to the south of France, or as our Abby Mickelson she would say, France. I don't know what that means. This is the Cordon Bleu Nature Beach, where the temperature is hitting a high of 25 degrees on a glorious sunny day after a low of just 19 degrees. Beautiful work there. Let's get into some feedback now. My feedback is certainly happy birthday to Abby. Justine says, good evening. We have missed you all. It's been too long between drinks. I mean shows.
Damn straight.
Gay Right. Wonderful Gay Right says, hi all, so great to have the show back. Wonderful to have you back, Gay Right, you wonderful woman. Janelle says, hello everyone and welcome back, Robbo. Thank you, Janelle. Lovely to be back on this wonderful show. Thank you.
Let's go.
Mary
to
Matthews, who hasn't having a break, and Rob's mic is still open, but Mary hasn't had a break yet.
I hit the mute button.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's the right. He can't handle it. He goes, guys, I'm still the host. I'm still the host. Mary Matthews, just so you know, thanks for your feedback, but also Rob is still the host. And she says, hope everyone loved our ARR holiday show in the end. We certainly did. We can't believe that Rob didn't interrupt that one. Tim Hennessy says, so good to see the threesome go at it. Good balance. Jeanette
Thanks,
Manson
babe.
says, well done. I couldn't put words to it, but yes, thank you, babe. Jeanette says, well done to Jasmine for that wonderful birthday video from Abby Mickelson, and it is her birthday. She's our wonderful producer. If you'd like to share your feedback, head to any social media you'd like, because this is the kind of job that woman does. She never washes her hair, but she does put it across all of us on our social medias, and that is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You just search the ARR Show or at ARR Show, and you will find us. Robert, back to you.
And Amanda has worked out why my mic was on when my mic wasn't on. She's a clever little lady.
And now the volume's too low. I mean, we'll get there one day. Yeah, I mean, what is it, 190? What's the episode number here? Let me just have a look here.
Good thing it's pre-recorded. That's all I can say.
We'll cut this bit out, just as they used to do in Blankety Blanks. Yes. Cut it out. Here we go. In 3, 2...
If we edited out all the technical issues, the whole series would run for 5 minutes. Anyway, it's time to bring in the man who knows what's going on in the entertainment world. It's Jason Roses. Get on in here, Jason.
Oh, hold on a minute. Jason Roses has changed. I loved the top that you had on before. Ange and I were talking just off air about the wonderful... Is that still green?
Amazing. You look like
you and
you're a camp guidance counsellor.
Yes, you said I'm a guidance counsellor, so I decided to get changed.
Or like
because...
working at the Baccarat table at Crown.
This was it, by the way.
Yeah, John. That's not the word I would have used, Jason. You went on the camp one. Sorry, the other one. I think she meant camp. It was very camp. Do you know about camps?
I know about camps, yes. Camp as in...
Sure.
Gay?
No, as in tents.
Like Brokeback Mountain. Oh, no, I don't know.
And I'll meet you there.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen Jason. This was going to happen. Come on. I was going to flirt with this beautiful man. I can't help it. He's got a painting behind him that was clearly painted by a toddler or a dolphin, but he thought it was good enough to put up on his back wall. Clearly good enough to put up on the back of the shot here tonight. But he's still a beautiful, handsome man, and welcome back to the show, Jason. Jason, so much to talk about. I don't even know if this is my question, but
it's not,
what have you got to tell us about it?
Jason, Channel 10 are adding a brand new show to their weekly programming.
Yeah, it's called it's called The Cheapskates. It's by Working Dog Productions. They're the people that are Working Dog Productions.
What's the name of the show?
The Cheap Seats, isn't it?
Cheap Seats. Did I say cheapskates?
You said cheapskates.
Well, based on what you guys have said about Channel 10, could also say cheapskates. No, I'm joking. It is hosted by...
And Rob and Robbo show.
Yeah.
That's right. It's hosted by Melanie Bracewell and Tim McDonald. They've both appeared on Have You Been Paying Attention? 10 released the promo to show us what it's all about. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Tim McDonald.
And I'm Melanie Bracewell.
And we've got something new coming to 10.
It's the TV event of the year.
Not really.
Tuesdays will never be the same.
No, it's just going to be our take on the week's event.
They'll go where others fear to go.
No, it's just our look at news, sport and showbiz.
Plus singing, cooking, dancing and renovating.
That's not our show.
All on an island.
No.
Lego and a twist.
Anyway, join us Tuesday night.
The Cheap Seats. Melanie Bracewell and Tim McDonald's brand new show starts 9 o'clock next Tuesday.
On 10.
That's right.
I like the look.
I don't mind it. I mean, so it's from 9 p.m. next Tuesday. So yeah, pay attention to that show. Cheap Seats.
As long as anyone who's in any kind of management role at Network 10 stays out of it, it's got a chance to rate. But let's go on to the next one. If you're reality TV, if you're a big fan of it, you too?
Hope
No?
you weren't
Okay.
wanting a job at 10 ever.
That's
I hardly had one there for 13 years, but that's all right. Reality TV, let's talk about that now, Jason.
Okay. I'm a reality TV queen. What do you want to know? Okay, we're just going to talk about it.
Yeah, Jason, that was a showbiz thing where I hadn't really properly read the question, and I just throw to you knowing that it's something about reality TV, and then you don't throw Uncle Daddy Robbo under the bus.
I just did. Well, here we go.
and you know what, Jason? I loved it. I loved that moment of awkwardness where Robbo's frantically going to research what the question is.
No, everyone stop. All right, hold on. Everyone stop for a minute. It's my first show back, so just give me this. All right. And today we're taking you to the south of France for the Cordon Bleu, where it's a hive. Oh, no, that's a wrong script. Shit. And Jason, if reality shows are more your style, you've got some details for us on two of the biggest. I do. As exclusively revealed by our very own Rob McKnight on TV Black Box, there is the new Big Brother house. Oh my God. He's put that much effort into. Yeah, of course he did.
Hey, I did reveal it exclusively.
He did. Oh. Guys, this is my time. The new Big Brother house is under control. Yeah, I know. God, it's almost my bedtime at 11 p.m. if you guys just stop talking for a second and just breathe. Now,
hey, I dropped the second lot of hot topics for you, Jason. Don't think I don't love you.
Oh, yeah, I worked really hard on them.
Yeah, and thanks for making me prepare all of them, but yeah, fine, carry on.
Very good. Well, the new Big Brother house is under construction. The house from the past season, it was in Manly, but they've packed up and moved to Olympic Park out at Homebush in Sydney. Now, Big Brother VIP will be the first time it'll take place in the new house. Now, the main reason for the move was environmental concerns in Manly because there was a lot of native wildlife. But I'm very, very excited to see the new VIP version. Sonia Kruger has revealed there will be some international names going in, but of course, if Big Brother isn't your cup of tea, and if you didn't know this, I was on Big Brother. If you guys know this, yes, I was. You knew. Okay, there's some shots, but the new premiere of this weekend of Survivor, which was filmed in Cloncurry in Cloncurry, regional Queensland. Kevin Perry on TV Black Box revealed that the next season will be filmed in Queensland in the Charters Towers region. Robbo, why are you laughing? Tell me. I can say Cloncurry. Cloncurry, okay. We will see previous castaways compete against their own blood relatives. So very exciting. Look how rural and sandy it looks. Yes.
That's the current one that was shot in Cloncurry, so the next season is in Charters Towers.
That was the best review
like a mix of love.
Can I just throw something in, Jason, regarding...
Can I just say, yes, you can talk too, but I just want to quickly say something. I haven't watched the promo. I haven't watched the promo of Survivor in a long time. That was like a mix of like Love Island and Survivor all together. Like I saw mud wrestling and no clothes. Like that was strange to me. Anyway.
Sorry, Jason, you've got another window open on your computer. You got to close that window before you do the show.
It's getting very hot.
As a CNN guy.
Jason, what I would say is that what's interesting is when we revealed on the TV Black Box website where filming was taking place, because it is taking place at Sydney Olympic Park, and I just can't hear any of you at the moment, so just let me keep talking. What was interesting is that someone has gone out and taken those drone shots. Now, they were posted by former friend of the show, Ben Norris, and he got them off a website. But what I found...
Former friend of the show.
Oh, I just meant that he used to be on the show, but he's not on the show.
Oh, my God.
I didn't mean anything by that.
Hello, Daily Mail. Hello.
We heard you what you said loud and clear. You put something down, we picked it up. So
hang on, I was doing two things at once. I was, like putting my
You took your jacket off, you were adjusting your earpiece, and you were talking. It was like three things. Drone photos.
You know what I do? In my confusion, I meant to say friend of the show and also former co-host. So it became what it became. That's
former friend.
So,
yeah.
What's interesting, Ben posted those photos, which were not Ben's, but someone else's. But what I found
wait. Is Ben the former friend, or is he the friend and the former co-host?
Ben is a former co-host who is a friend of the show.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay, sorry, Daily Mail. All right, nothing to see here. Goodbye.
Change that heading, Daily Mail. Yeah, real quick.
My point being that those pics that Ben posted, someone sent a drone out after we revealed where the location was. But my concern is those people, whoever owns that drone, went out during Sydney's lockdown to get those pictures.
Oh, so they have broken the lockdown rules. And I know, having been on Big Brother, they are very strict about any sort of drones flying over. Like, we had a drone situation, and they have, like, restricted air.
Situation!
Yes, we were ordered inside because, as you know, we're such big celebrities. They ushered us quickly, and it was a big security scare. I mean, quickly ushered us in the house.
Sorry.
That's really interesting.
Just going with that kind of logic, a drone is attached to a cord, or they were in Homebush, a lot of apartments around the area, they could have flown the drone out, flown the drone back in.
There's no apartments.
In Homebush?
Maybe there was one close enough to... Maybe, Robbo, maybe you have a point. I've got a feeling maybe not.
No, I've got a feeling I do. Considering how big Homebush is with so many apartments. Anyway, we'll wait for that. Anyway, Brittany's battle, she appears in a court hearing, and we understand we've got drone footage of that from Homebush.
And let me say, that drone footage, if they went out during the
Yeah. Homebush isn't surrounded by hundreds of apartments. Can I just say, I am closely watching this Britney Spears saga. She continues to fight her father against the conservatorship. She has appeared via phone in court again, which wasn't expected to happen. She spoke a lot about her father, including she did come out and say this statement, I would like to charge, very serious statement, I would like to charge my father with conservatorship abuse. I'm fine with Jodie. Yes, massive words. I'm fine with Jodie, who is the co-conservator with her dad, helping her get more confidence, but I need my dad gone. She said she's always been scared of her dad, and she was always scared that he would show up drunk. Apparently, he allegedly knocked on her door and shook her son. She also said that she feared those in the conservatorship were trying to kill her. So what is exciting for Britney is that she is able to now choose her own lawyer. For years, she was not allowed to choose her own lawyer, but she has now gone with a very high-profiled and high-powered attorney, and she's hoping that attorney is going to be able to kick her father off being the head of the conservatorship. But this will continue playing out. From what I understand about conservatorship, it is very difficult for Britney, for anyone that's under a conservatorship, to simply be able to remove it from existence. I mean, it was put in place for, some reasons back in the day. So it's not an easy fight that Britney has on her hands, but having this new lawyer in her court hopefully will help.
Jason.
Oh, and they've been so good as to, let her hire her own lawyer this time. This is 13 years ago that the conservatorship was put in place, and at the time, absolutely warranted. But that it's still going on 13 years later. Come on now.
All these people who hashtag Free Britney with no knowledge of what's happening behind the scenes. To me, the stuff this woman is saying proves that she is nuttier than the nutty professor. Have a think about what she's saying.
But let her
the
be.
Conservators are trying to kill me. I want the conservatorship to end, but not if I have to get a psychological assessment. I'm sorry. Have we stopped and thought for a little moment that maybe this woman does have some real psychological issues and she should not be making her own decisions? There are judges who have been in place reviewing this for 13 years who have decided this needs to remain in place. Before we all start thinking that Daddy's doing the wrong thing by her, maybe just stop for a moment and understand that this woman, who is obviously not well, may need help and can't see and understand that she's being helped.
But not to this extent where, she's completely suffocated and not able to do a single thing. I'm sure that this particular situation is contributing to her, mental issues. Wouldn't it, though?
You can't say that.
You're a
paparazzi contributed. Maybe the woman... And I was a bit flippant when I said the nutty professor. That was a stupid thing to say, and I do regret saying that. But my point is serious that everyone is having a go at the dad. None of us know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe the Free Britney crowd are right, but I'm hearing enough during this court trial of her conspiracy theories, of her not wanting an assessment, to feel that there's an issue here that she is not ready to lead her own life.
Hold on.
But give her a chance. Give her a chance. Say, okay, we'll relinquish the conservatorship for like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can I just say also in defense of the dad, from what I've read about him, when this whole conservatorship came into being, Britney apparently only had $2 to $3 million in her name. He has built up that wealth, that sort of potty for his daughter, to $60 million. He pays himself a pittance to actually be the head of the conservatorship. So, but you're right, Rob. I mean, there will be a series of tests, psychological tests. It's not easy for Britney to remove herself because a judge has to deem her to be in a fit mental state, and that's possibly why she hasn't been allowed to be in charge of her own finances, because maybe behind the scenes there's a lot more that's going on.
Robbo, I see you want to jump in. Have your say.
Maybe there is, but the problem with people who suffer from mental health issues is they're automatically dismissed. So this idea that just because Daddy says it, and Daddy's got a lot of issues, all you need to do is Google Daddy Spears and Mummy Spears, and what do you find? Do you find the usual story of the parents of child stars who made it big, made a lot of money, and then weirdly it falls apart. So this idea that because Daddy says it, we need to believe it. If Britney's saying something...
Psychiatrists and psychologists have given her assessments.
You just said that they haven't given them, and that she's refused it. You just said that. You said that she's refused.
But don't you think to get out of a conservatorship, you should have an assessment to see whether you're capable?
No. Just because someone else says it doesn't mean that it's truth. We're not going to get into this now, but I don't the short term is I don't believe it.
1 or 2 months.
Yep.
And we see how it goes. How's that?
Yep. agree with Ange 100%.
So I just want to clear this up. You guys are saying she's obviously been in this situation for a lot of years, but we don't think professionals should be included in the decision of whether she needs to be in this or not. We just say, go, little Brittany, go out into the world.
Ange?
Yeah, for, say, 2 months. 1-2 months. See how it goes. What's the harm in that? And, if she's going to go off the rails, she's going to go off the rails and let her, for God's sake.
Guys, I've got to add my understanding also of how this conservatorship will work. If they do that and she falls harder, then that conservatorship will basically remain with her for the rest of her life. So the judge has a massive decision on his hands. There's so many moving parts, because if the judge does that and says to Brittany, go and be free, and she fails and she falls, then she will be in that conservatorship for the rest of her life.
Mary Matthews has just raised a very good point on our socials, and she said, why can't it be someone else running it rather than her dad? I have no problem with that. Fair point, Mary. But also what I want to say is this idea that we naturally assume the dad wants to do the wrong thing by his daughter. Any normal parent wants to do the right thing by their kids. They love their kids. We can't...
He's not a normal parent. He's the father of Britney Spears, Rob. He's not a normal parent.
But why are we just assuming that he wants to do the wrong thing by her?
Well, but the same way, why are we just assuming that Britney Spears is stuffed psychologically and needs all of this help? Which one are you choosing?
That on the stuff she's saying, Robbo.
Which one are you choosing?
Yeah.
Which one are you choosing?
I'm basing that.
You're choosing the dad or should someone actually
me giving you an answer to your question invalidates your argument, but you've got to let me answer the question when you ask it. And what I'm saying to you is that when she passes a psychological assessment, then fine. But at the moment, she is saying some pretty weird stuff. She's saying some pretty weird stuff in this courtroom.
Shouldn't the dad be tested first? Shouldn't the dad be also tested? When have we entered a world where...
Yes, I agree. I think that's actually a really, really good idea.
She needs a voice. She needs a voice, and she doesn't feel like she's getting it. And then we've got this idea, well, she needs to be tested, for goodness sake. Yeah, test. But we'll just trust Dad. We'll just trust Dad because we've all forgotten Macaulay Culkin's parents, right?
I just said Mary had a good point about getting an unbiased third party. I have no problem with that.
But remember, guys, Brittany just wants to remove her father. She still wants Jodie Montgomery to be the co-conservator. So I think in a way, Brittany almost still wants this conservatorship to be in her place, just doesn't want her dad to be anywhere near it.
All right.
But, Rob, you're saying that her dad we should just believe her dad? No. You
do this, Robbo. You go to an extreme and you put words in people's mouths. What I have said, the whole Free Britney movement is not thinking that this young lady might actually need help. I know I was flippant at the beginning of it, and that was a mistake. But the point is that she is saying some stuff in this courtroom that isn't on the level, isn't quite right, and I think that needs to be under assessment. I like Mary's idea that an unbiased third party, no problem with that, but I don't think the solution is just...
What about the dad? No, I said before,
hang on, I'm
put the
saying
dad
to
under
you that I
assessment
have
as
no
well.
problem with him taken out of it, but I'm saying...
No, I'm saying put him under assessment as well. If it's a conservatorship, put him under assessment the same way that you're going to assess her. What's the difference there?
Because
put them both under assessment.
The one facing this at the moment.
Let's ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't understand that argument, but if it makes everyone feel better, test us all.
Ring the bell.
By the end of this, we'll all need to be under conservatorship.
Ring the bell.
So, Jason, we have some we have some more details on what content Harry and Meghan will produce with their Netflix partnership.
Megan, yes. Let me be honest, they're actually
in your absence, Rob still has not learned how to pronounce Megan.
Or how to play
Megan.
fairly, but
I used to like you, Ange.
Oh no. Well,
I never liked you.
Meghan Markle Meghan Markle has announced No, she's announced a new animated series called Pearl. In a statement on her production site, she said, like many girls her age, our Pearl is on a journey of self-discovery as she tries to overcome life's daily challenges. I'm thrilled that Archewell Productions partnered with the powerhouse platform of Netflix, and these incredible producers will bring you this new animated series which celebrates extraordinary women throughout history. Megan is, of course, now mum to little girl Lilibet. No doubt, I'll be very interested to see what content she produces. I'm not a fan of Megan or Harry anymore. I'm going to be completely honest. I think they have completely, their sparkle has disappeared in my eyes. They should move back to England.
Sparkle.
No, her last kids' book absolutely flopped. She keeps insulting. No, she keeps insulting.
Jason, I agree. This is the biggest waste of money that Netflix has ever laid on the table. They've spent millions of dollars. And you know how many views this thing's going to get? It's going to get 200 views. It's going to get the 130 that worked on the show. They're all going to watch it. And then it's going to get 70 media royal correspondents who just want to go on Sunrise and Today's Show to report on what it was like. This is a dog in the making, and there are great content producers out. Sorry, I'm getting fired up. I've become Robbo at the end of the show.
That's right.
There are great content creators out there who are not getting gigs, so Meghan and Harry can get their money and create crappy content. Oh!
Yeah. And Meghan and Harry wanted the quiet life.
Did I say
they wanted. They wanted.
Meghan,
you did.
I'm a Meghan.
Yeah. Meghan Markle. They wanted the quiet life. They wanted the quiet life. They wanted to avoid all the paparazzi and the media spotlight, so they decided to go and move to Hollywood and sign up a production deal with Netflix, which is going to include books and television. I mean, how hypocritical can you get? And can I just say a message to Harry and Meghan? Please keep your mouths closed and stop insulting the Queen, your grandmother, Harry, because every time you keep saying something, you keep insulting her. So if you really want a quiet life, go and buy an island hut and retire there, and make pottery. Make pottery.
You know, I was on Meghan and Harry's side, but now they're Meghan and Harry, and they're out the door. Off your pop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was too. Now, no.
Upsetting me by insulting the Queen, and won't stand by it.
No. I don't know whether they're going to care that, you know, the and Rob and Rob is showing off on their side. That they do have Oprah.
Oh, believe me, they have media monitoring on everything. They're reading every bit of press. Do they like us? Do they like us? No, Harry and Meghan, we don't. Robbo, your question.
I certainly do. If we could just, I've got a crew of three here, guys. We could take a shot of the dog here who is licking its own. So what we won't do is we won't take a shot of that, but I'm watching it live right now.
Pick it up and show us.
He's been trying to dislodge something. I can't, it's all the way up there, but he's been trying to dislodge something from that particular part of his body for about 5 or 10 minutes. I thought at first it was the Meghan and Harry chat. I don't know. I don't think, Jason, you should take it personally. But Jason, entertainment though, there's so much going on in the entertainment world, and this is what you've got to say about it.
No, come on, Robbo. Read your scripts. Jason, our producer, Abby wanted her own segment.
Oh,
They're set up here.
Oh, no,
so what's happening?
No, wait. No, I'll do it again.
No. Okay, do it again. Okay, wait, can I just, I'll reposition. I'm repositioning myself. Okay, go.
So we're celebrating something very special today. Abby says she's 26, but regardless of the age, it is her birthday. She is our wonderful producer. Jason, what can you tell us about that, even though we've already mentioned this on the show and we had a 40-minute package about it?
Was that even the question? No. So that also wasn't the question. Who has written his note?
Abby, love you.
Are you using a printer? So Abby, guys, is obsessed with TikTok, and she wanted to bring back TikTok of the day. Of course, now we do TikTok of the week. She wanted to give one condition. Rob just said, God help us, as he swigs a wine. Cheers to that. Okay.
I couldn't see that, Jason.
He's really enjoying that glass. Okay, so we can let's just play Abby's TikTok. We're gonna rate it. 1 being terrible, 5 being brilliant.
Where is it? I don't know. This motherfucker not even speaking the right way. Okay, ready? Yeah. Set. Oh!
She likes videos where people hurt themselves. So I knew she'd love this one.
Yeah, that's great.
I swear to God,
I think it's hilarious. Okay, Robbo, what did you think of that? Would you say 1? This is to bring it back, by the way. So we're going to give power to Abby. 1 terrible or 5 good?
And now it's her birthday, so I'm going to be really, really loving. I'm probably going to be a bit more loving than I should.
Pricking my neck.
For the aspect ratio, I'm giving it 1.
Like, can we get the aspect ratio right?
Like, that's the first one. Secondly, I know that she loves this and it's her birthday and she loves it when people get her hurt. And people who know Abby consider her to be someone that is the most caring, loving woman. But if she sees you trip over, she's going to laugh for 5 minutes before she helps you up. She wants to help you up.
True.
But she's going to get the laughter out first. So I'm going to give, because it's her birthday, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay, Ange, what about you? 1 to 5.
-500.
Let's take the Oscar reaction shot.
Yeah, look at that face.
Yeah.
So, Rob, you've got the power now.
Love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, you've got the power to decide, are we bringing this back or not for Abby?
Well, look, just one quick thing. Like Robbo, this is Abby's birthday and I want to be really generous. So I'm going to give it half a point. That is me being generous because that was the biggest load of crap I've ever seen. And I've seen lots of TikTok videos from Abby. I don't know what it is, Abby. You just can't pick TikTok videos and I can't believe we've brought it back.
Well, we've only brought it back for that one snippet. It looks as though, Abby, it's not coming back next week.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah, I'm good with it. Never coming back.
Oh, hang on. Abby just said you write the show yourself. I love the segment. It'll end every week. We'll end with Abby's TikTok of the week.
If we've got time.
Yeah.
It's like the
we don't even have time. And we'll see if we've got time.
Yeah, we've run out of
time. The duration of this show, there's always sodding time.
We don't even have time for me. God, it always...
How long? We've almost hit 2 hours, haven't we? Because we started at 8:40.
Yes, we have.
Robbo.
Time flies when you're watching shitty TikTok videos. It really does, doesn't it? Thanks, Abby. Happy birthday, pal. and you gave the present back to us with that wonderful gift.
Well, Rob and Robbo died.
Wait, did you keep the receipt? Because I need to return or exchange it.
Are we returning Abby or the TikTok video?
Both.
I'm thinking both at the moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our return edition, the very loose edition of the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. Can we do this next week? Robbo, you've got to calm down. Oh, Amanda just said so do I.
Thank you. Yeah, no. We all heard your wife, who has to spend the most amount of time with you, say, so do you. Thank you, Amanda.
She always takes your side. Always.
At least one of us can be concise, for God's sake.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
Guys, it makes a blind bit of difference. It's still 2 hours.
All right.
Imagine if Bruno was on the show tonight. We're going for 3 hours. My God.
Well, you know what? Kylie Minogue is on the line. She was going to be our surprise guest, but we can't have her on. We're going to have to bump her. So, sorry, Kylie Minogue. We've gone almost 2 hours, so maybe next week. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the Ange, Rob and Robbo show. We'll see you next week. Hopefully. Bye-bye.
It's the Ange, Rob and Robbo, Ange, Rob and Robbo show.
Thank God we didn't have Bruno.